Catherine crossed paths with her brother Marco one morning as he stepped out of the elevator, holding a folder that needed her attention. Though Marco usually sent his secretary for such matters, this time he came himself, perhaps to keep an eye on his mysterious sister. Catherine was calm and composed as always, unbothered by his sudden appearance. Her days were often filled with quiet purpose, yet her brothers never truly knew where she went or what she was doing once she stepped out of the company doors. Whenever they tried to have her followed, she would easily shake off anyone trailing her, only to later complain to their mother Clarissa about being spied on. And inevitably, Clarissa would scold her sons, leaving them powerless against Catherine's subtle but sharp authority. That morning, Marco's gentle tone carried a trace of unease as he asked where she was going. Catherine merely said it was something small and returned to her office to take care of the document he brought. Marco followed closely behind, keeping his questions polite but cautious. In the office, Catherine reviewed the papers with a kind of focus that made her presence quietly commanding. Marco tried to make conversation, asking if their mother had mentioned when she might return. Clarissa had been away for some time, her movements as secretive as ever, and even her children were not told where she was. Catherine replied that their mother never revealed her whereabouts, and Marco sighed, weighed down by personal troubles. His marriage to Erica was in ruins, and his infidelity had left a deep wound in the family. He confessed that he hoped their mother would soon return to plead on his behalf, as he wished to avoid a divorce for the sake of his children. But Catherine, coldly perceptive, reminded him that his actions were shameful, cheating on his wife, and even becoming involved with Shiloh, the woman who was once raised as her sister. Her voice was firm, reminding him that no woman could tolerate such betrayal, and that one day, if his own daughter were treated the same way, he would be filled with the same anger and heartbreak he had caused. Marco fell silent, realizing that no excuse could defend what he had done. He loved his children deeply, especially his daughter, and in his heart, he knew Catherine's words were true. His greed and weakness had led him astray, and now his family ties were fraying beyond repair. After finishing her review, Catherine decided not to sign the document immediately. She called Clarissa to confirm the details of the project before placing her signature and seal. She had learned not to trust her brothers so easily. When her mother answered, Catherine mentioned that Marco was present and handed the phone to him. Though he tried to appear composed, Marco's heart pounded. Ever since his scandal, he feared Clarissa more than ever. Her disappointment in him was colder than anger, and her disapproval carried more weight than any punishment. When Clarissa's icy voice came through the phone, Marco attempted to sound affectionate, pretending concern for her well being. But Clarissa saw through the pretense immediately, exposing his lies with ruthless precision. She reminded him that their father Holden did not miss her at all. In truth, Holden resented her deeply, just as she no longer trusted him or their sons. Their family had long since fractured beyond repair. Holden had once loved Clarissa, but after years of betrayal and bitterness, he despised her, even calling her cruel names behind closed doors. He blamed her for everything: their broken marriage, his downfall, and even the ruin of their sons. Yet the truth was that the family's destruction stemmed from their own choices, their greed, and the tangled sins they refused to face. As Marco handed the phone back to Catherine, Anger burned quietly behind his polite smile. In his eyes, Catherine was the root of all their misery, the sister who had returned only to bring chaos to the Farrells. But beneath his resentment was fear, for no matter how much he despised her calm defiance, he knew that Catherine was the only one who still had their mother's full trust. And in the Farrell family, trust was power. In that silent office, Catherine sealed the morning's exchange with the same composure she began it, graceful, detached, and untouchable, while Marco walked away, burdened by guilt and resentment. The Farrell family, once proud and united, now stood as a portrait of betrayal, where blood ties were poisoned by ambition and love had long turned to ash.